Neville Goddard, your faith is your fortune. Let's see here. Where are we? Daniel in the lion's den, chapter 21. Thy God whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. Daniel 6:16. Thy God whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. Whom thou servest continually. I am always serving. I am all that is God. Every desire that comes into me, am I not serving that into a new reality for myself? It doesn't matter. Here I don't have a pizza. Here I'm eating the pizza. The desire itself provides the solution. You pick up the phone, you call, it gets delivered, and you're now in that new reality. You're continuously serving I am. The desire comes from I am to within you. It provided the solution, the phone number. You call, they make it, they bring it, now you're here in this reality. It happens at every level. This whole concept isn't just for getting that new car, that new house, that new relationship, that new feeling of health. It's happening at every level. You're already doing the skill set. You're already using the skill set wonderfully, continuously. It's a continuous constant. It's an always. The story of Daniel is the story of every man. It is recorded that Daniel, while locked in the lion's den, turned his back upon the hungry beasts, and with his vision turned toward the light coming from above, he prayed to the one and only God. I said above, Neville said above. Remember, anytime you hear the word above, ascension, upstairs, everything is up here in your imagination. And with his vision turned toward the light coming from above, he prayed to the one and only God. The lions, who were purposely starved for the feast, remained powerless to hurt the prophet. Daniel's faith in God was so great that it finally brought about his freedom and his appointment to a high office in the government of his country. That brings to mind the Count of Monte Cristo, which Neville went to the movie theater with Abdullah and watched that movie together. Sometime, I think it came out in 1939. Now, somewhere in the 30s. I forget the exact year, excuse me if you know, but the very first version is the best version. It's a black and white version, and it's wonderful, especially when you consider any of the Neville body of work. You watch that movie, and you could imagine Neville and Abdullah watching that on the big picture together, and then Abdullah asking Neville after the showing what he thought it meant, and Neville broke down. And if you watch the movie, it's really an interesting breakdown that the consciousness of man at the time had that script and the intelligence in the production of that movie, because it's very akin to this body of work. Watch the movie if you get a chance. It's really worth it. Daniel's faith in God was so great that it finally brought about his freedom and appointment to a high office in the government of his country. I'm thinking of the Count of Monte Cristo, the Count himself. This story was written for you to instruct you in the art of freeing yourself from any problem or prison in the world. Why am I jumping the gun all the time? Daniel, the Count of Monte Cristo, is exactly what he was doing, was freeing himself from that prison. Great movie. That wasn't a spoiler. Most of us finding ourselves in the lion's den would be concerned only with the lions. We would not be thinking, we would only be concerned with the lions. We would be seeing what our senses show us. That's all that we would be seeing, and we would only be concerned with if we fell for the illusions of what's in front of us. We would not be thinking of the other problem in the whole wide world, but that of the lions. Yet we are told that Daniel turned his back upon them and looked toward the light that was God. Turned his back on the lions, on his problems, and looked towards God. Towards God. Stop looking at the lions, at the problems, and went in and looked towards God. If we could follow the example of Daniel while threatened with any dire disaster, such as lions, poverty, or sickness, if, like Daniel, we could remove our attention to the light that is God, our solutions would be similarly simple. Let me repeat that sentence. If we could follow the example of Daniel while threatened with any dire disaster such as lions, poverty, or sickness, or loneliness. If, like Daniel, I put that in there, by the way, or loneliness. Like Daniel, we could remove our attention to the light that is God. Remove our attention to the light that is God. Our solutions would be similarly simple. For example, if you were imprisoned, no man would need to tell you that what you should desire is freedom. Freedom, or rather the desire to be free, would be automatic. The same would be true if you found yourself sick or in debt or in any other predicament. Lions represent seemingly insoluble situations of a threatening nature. Kind of brings back the grasshoppers and I think it was the giants, right? Every problem automatically produces its solution in the form of a desire to be free from the problem. Every problem that is within your reality, is within your experience, every problem produces a solution. So every desire produces a solution, but every problem produces a solution. Every problem automatically produces its solution in the form of a desire to be free from the problem. Therefore, turn your back upon your problem and focus your attention upon the desired solution by already feeling yourself to be that which you desire. Feeling yourself to be that which you desire. Boom. I feel free of this problem, so therefore I am here. I am free of this problem, therefore I am here. I am wealthy, therefore my bank account is full. I am wealthy, therefore my bills are paid. I am happily in love, therefore I am in a relationship. I am happily healthy, therefore I don't visit the doctor. I am. Continue in this belief, and you will find that your prison wall will disappear as you begin to express that which you have become conscious of being. I have seen people apparently hopelessly in debt apply this principle, and in but a very short time, debts that were mountainous were removed. I have also seen those whom doctors had given up as incurable apply this principle, and in an incredibly short time, their so-called incurable disease vanished and left no scar. Look upon your desires as the spoken words of God and every word of prophecy of that which you are capable of being. Look upon any desire, from the pizza, from the sublime to the ridiculous. Any desire is the spoken words of God. Any and every desire coming out of this fountain within you is the spoken word of God. You don't know why it's there sometimes. You just don't have it. You're like, why is it I want to eat that? I'm using simple examples, but you get the drift. Why is it I want that? Why do I want to go there? Why do I want to call her? Why do I want to call him? There's an important reason that desire is there. If you want to call him back, where did that desire come from? If you want to be back with him, where did that desire come from? Why is the desire there? Or is it such that I don't have to be worried about who it is? I just want to be concerned with the fact that I am in a relationship. If you go along qualifying this I am in a relationship only with him, is that desire going to be fulfilled? I think I know what my previous point was when I brought up Seth in the last video. It was the value fulfillment concept, and it just struck me. So if you're following along in sequence, that value fulfillment principle is the same. Seth was using a non-scriptural language. I'm filming these videos back to back, by the way, so I'm going to roll with it. The value fulfillment books of the Seth material are very akin to what is going on here with Neville's material when it talks about fulfilling your desire. Seth went about a crafty way to say it through Jane in a non-scriptural way, but the idea is the exact same idea. Value fulfillment, which I got from the Seth material, again, after a long period of studying it and applying it and living it, is that value fulfillment is the ultimate goal. I started a business with it. That business ran 13 years, and I was very happy with that. And a lot of the very, very, very lean times were punched through. It was construction, so it was a very, very not easy times in that business that we had. But we made it 13 years, and we used the principles of You Create Your Own Reality to keep that moving like a ship. The fulfilling concept was part of the desire creates the solution, creates the problem, which has the solution inbuilt. The fulfillment of us is to keep fulfilling these desires that spring forth within us. Henceforth, the book Value Fulfillment, which is the same concept. I'm not trying to marry these two things together. I want you to see that in many different bodies of work, the same thing is being said, that Neville's point blankly putting out here for us. This principle of desire with a solution is constant. It's like a loop, okay? Now, if you want to be back with him, and specifically him, and you desire only him or her, then you must imprint that impression on this consciousness. Because there's all God's creations are done. There is a reality where you and him are back together, if let's say you're broken up. And there's a reality where you and someone else are together. Which one will surface? Many times many times Neville would have somebody say, please imagine lovingly for me to Neville, and I want to be married to that man. And Neville would say, not that man. What if he's found guilty of murder tomorrow? What if he dies tomorrow, or whatever he said to the gal who wanted him to imagine for her? Then he would always say, I mean, this is many times. He would say he'd be right there on the aisle when this woman would be getting married, and it was typically, and I'm thinking maybe even every single example, she would be with a different man walking down the aisle, getting married, and when she passed Neville, she would look at him, and he would look at her, and he would, like, I told you. But the fulfillment of the idea was more important. The desire, its solution, impression to the consciousness, the fulfillment of that desire is the manifestation of that desire. I am that. If you get stuck on these details of who and whom, you might end up spinning your wheels. So you want to be very understanding of why Neville made it a point to these women who had him imagine them married for them, which he would do after his lectures. People would come to him, and they would always be marrying somebody else. They were getting married was the point. He self-persuaded, saw them happily married, probably didn't qualify it, probably just said happily married. Not to that specific person or that person, but married and happy. Look upon your desires as the spoken words of God and every word of prophecy of that which you are capable of being. Do not question whether you are worthy or unworthy to realize these desires. Accept them as they come to you. Give thanks to them. Give thanks for them as though they were gifts. The desires are gifts. The desire to be wealthy is a gift. That desire is a gift. Be thankful of that gift because you have the solution built into the desire. You simply impress the consciousness and it becomes. Give thanks for them as though they were gifts. Feel happy and grateful for having received such wonderful gifts. Then go your way in peace. This is the Sabbath. Then just go your way. Be thankful for the desire because it is a gift. And then go your way in peace. Such simple acceptance of your desires is like the dropping of fertile seed into an ever-prepared soil. When you drop your desire in consciousness as a seed, confident that it shall appear in its full-blown potential, you have done all that is expected of you. That's it. To be worried or concerned about the manner of their unfoldment is to hold these fertile seeds in a mental grasp, and therefore to prevent them from really maturing to full harvest. To be very much concerned only that it has to be him. It has to be him. I am married to him and him only, is holding it in a firm grasp, mental grasp. To be worried or concerned about the manner of their unfoldment, I am happily married. I am happily in a relationship. I am in love. This qualifier of it has to be that specific person is this sentence. To be worried or concerned about the manner of their unfoldment is to hold these fertile seeds in a mental grasp, and therefore to prevent them from really maturing to full harvest. You might as well roll with it. You might as well see what happens. If you've been battering your head against this wall continually, saying it has to be him and him only, and he has to call me back, he has to stop the third person, he has to change this and change that, I have to, him. No, you're just fighting a battle of trying to move willfully. You're trying to move willfully. Why not just practice it and let it happen by just not qualifying that? I am happily in love. I am happily married. It's wonderful feeling that I am in bed with my partner. Remove the qualification. Test this out. Test it and see. The desire exists for a reason. Use the solution. I am that. Drop the qualifier. Don't be anxious or concerned as to results. Results will follow just as surely as day follows night. Have faith in this planting until the evidence is manifest to you that it is so. Your confidence in this procedure will pay great rewards. You wait but a little while in the consciousness of the thing desired, then suddenly, and when you least expect it, the thing becomes your expression. You meet somebody, and all of a sudden you're on that date. All of a sudden you're going to the movies. All of a sudden you're going to dinner. All of a sudden you're going to meet family. All of a sudden you're discussing new this and new that, and moving in together. All of a sudden you're all of a sudden you're walking down the aisle. It happens per your desire. Life is no respecter of persons and destroys nothing. It continues to keep alive that which man is conscious of being. Life is no respecter of persons and destroys nothing. It's the same thing. This is life, God, all that is. I am. That's life. Is no respecter of persons and destroys nothing. It continues to keep alive. It keeps alive that desire. It doesn't matter if you say it has to be him only, that desire still exists. It is okay for that desire. That desire is not a bad desire. You claiming it has to be him and him only is not a bad desire. It's not going to be destroyed by that which gave you the desire. It's not going to be qualified to be picked out. That's just up to you. But just remember, back to Neville, when he did this, imagining for others, they were always walking down that aisle with a different man. Which one that was more befitting of that reality? Things will disappear only as man changes his consciousness. Deny it if you will, it still remains a fact that consciousness is the only reality, and things but mirror that which you are conscious of being. Things only mirror that which you are conscious of being. The heavenly state you seek will be found only in, the heavenly state you seek will be found only in consciousness, for the kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Your consciousness is the only living reality, the eternal head of creation. Isn't that a wonderful sentence? Your consciousness is the only living reality, the eternal head of creation. That which you are conscious of being is the temporal body that you wear. To turn your attention from that which you are aware of being is to decapitate that body. Decapitate that body. But just as a chicken or snake continues to jump and throb after a while after its head has been removed, likewise qualities and conditions appear to live for a while after your attention has been taken from them. Don't be like Lot's wife. Don't look back. Don't get stuck here. Go forward. You're decapitating that consciousness of that which was, because you are now already here. When the head is gone of this, the head's here. You have made the movement. You have impressed your consciousness. And now the 3D shadow has appeared. You've lopped the head off of this old creation. That which you are, I'm going to repeat the sentence, it's very important. That which you are conscious of being is the temporal body that you wear. To turn your attention from that which you are aware of being is to decapitate that body, to turn your attention away. But just as a chicken or snake continues to jump and throb for a while after it has been removed, likewise qualities and conditions appear to live for a while after your attention has been taken from them. Man, not knowing this law of consciousness, constantly gives thought to his previous habitual conditions. Oh, can't we just fix this in one thought? Oh, this sentence is already super heavy and I haven't even gone halfway. This is a very heavy subject. Man not knowing this law of consciousness, but we are educating our way through this, okay? Man not knowing this law of consciousness constantly gives thought to his previous habitual conditions through being attentive to them, places upon these dead bodies the eternal head of creation. Thereby he reanimates and resurrects them. Oh my gosh, if there was one thing we could just pluck right out of there and get rid of, right? This is profound. I have to break this down further. Man, not knowing this law of consciousness, constantly gives thought to his previous habitual consciousness. You're here. You're on the new date. This old SP is gone. In your current focused attention, there is somebody new. But you're giving, out of habit, attention to this old consciousness. Constantly gives thought to his previous habitual conditions, and through being attentive to them, being attentive to these ones, placing upon these dead bodies the eternal head of creation. Thereby he reanimates and resurrects them. Remember the phrase, when you're here, you must impress yourself with, and I love this, let the dead bury the dead. You're only in a now. You're not in a past. You're in a now. If you have this new creation happening, it is time for you to let go. What is the saying? The old saying? It's new. It's coming around again. Let go and let God. There's God. Let go of this. Let God be your supply of your new desire, your new reality. You're the one that created it by impressing the consciousness. So you're letting God let go. You must leave these dead bodies alone and let the dead bury the dead. I'm sorry. I'm always asking Neville to guide me, but I don't want to take his thunder constantly. I'm always jumping ahead, but it's here. All right. You must leave these dead bodies alone and let the dead bury the dead. Man, having put his hand to the plow, that is, after assuming the consciousness of the quality desire, that's in parentheses, man, having put his hand to the plow, by looking back, can only defeat his fitness for the kingdom of heaven. That's looking back like Lot's wife. If you're here in this new situation and you look back, that's a no-no. As the will of heaven is ever done on earth, you are today in the heaven that you have established within yourself. For here on this very earth, your heaven reveals itself. The kingdom of heaven is really at hand. Now is the accepted time. Now is the accepted time. So create a new heaven, enter a new state of consciousness, and a new earth will appear. Enter a new state of consciousness, and a new earth will appear. And now the time is at hand. Now is the only time you have. This concept of future, this concept of past, these are phony baloney. Who knows why we put so much investment in these places? As in a very amazing situation with Neville's wife, she woke up one day and I think she had a voice. You never spend your thoughts. What was it again? Your thoughts, your time, and your money must not be spent. They must be invested. If you're spending your thoughts and your time, if you're spending your thoughts and your time, you're losing what you spend. It's going into it's disappearing. But you must invest. You must forget about spending here. Everything must be an investment. The only place you can invest is here. You can think you're investing. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can do revision and invest in revising the past. That's very valid, and that's not the point of what we're talking about here. But when you spend time here and you spend time here without revision, qualifying this statement, these are sapping away your investment. They're becoming expenses, wasted expenses. Dump those things. Get rid of anything that is illusioning you. Invest only. Invest where is the only place that investment is possible. It's in your now. It's the only place that exists. By God whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. He will deliver thee. Oh man, what a wonderful chapter. Daniel in the lion's den. So many great pieces here. Anything, if you might have got something out of this, leave a comment. Let's get some engagement going on this subject. It's very, very wonderful. I mean, Neville's work is just great. We're getting there. Where are we? Daniel 21. We've got 6 more chapters to go. We'll see you in the next video.